Australian Open. Aryna Sabalenka focuses on improvement rather than title. World number 1 arrives in Melbourne as favourite but without a title to defend. World number 1 Aryna Sabalenka heads into the Australian Open with the familiar tag of favourite, but unlike in the past 2 years, the powerful Belarusian will not be defending a title this time. The two-time Australian champion's 20-match winning streak at the season's opening major ended 12 months ago when American outsider Madison Keys beat her in the final, denying Sabalenka the chance to become the first woman to win 3 successive titles since Martina Hingis in 1999. Sabalenka fell short in the French Open final and was ousted in the semi-finals at Wimbledon, but was not to be denied a 4th Grand Slam by winning the final major of the year at September's US Open. Success at Flushing Meadows has the 27-year-old primed for another title tilt on the blue hard courts down under. Honestly, there's no difference, Sabalenka said of her mindset heading into Melbourne Park, no longer in possession of the Daphne Accursed Memorial Cup. Every time, it doesn't matter what tournament it is, if I'm the defending champion or if I lost in the first round last year, the goal is always the same, to bring my best tennis and improve my game. That's how I take it. I'm always just focusing on myself, on developing my game, and making sure I'm 100% there. That's my goal and focus every time. Sabalenka kicked off her season by retaining her title at the Brisbane International without giving up a set. Her serve infamously hampered her in Australia 4 years ago, but her refined delivery has become a crucial weapon, while her variations with drop shots and sharper tactical nous have turned her into a formidable force. She won a tour-leading 4 trophies last season and made 9 finals, underlining her consistency at the highest level, with a shock loss to Elena Rybakina in last year's WTA Finals title clash bringing her campaign to an abrupt end. That setback has only sharpened her resolve, and she now returns to Melbourne looking to reach her 4th consecutive Australian Open final. The 27-year-old will also bid to reach a 7th straight hardcourt Grand Slam final to match Hingis and Steffi Graf in the professional era that began in 1968. "I'm always super motivated when I come to Australia," said Sabalenka. "I love playing here and I want to stay here as long as possible. Of course, remembering last year's Australian Open final, I want to do a little bit better than I did." Swiatek not setting herself targets. While Sabalenka knows what it takes to taste success at Melbourne Park, one of her main rivals is looking to plug the only gap on her Grand Slam resume. World number 2 IGA Swiatek has won majors on the hard courts of Flushing Meadows, the Paris clay and the grass of Wimbledon, but has never managed to reach the final at the year's opening Grand Slam, going out twice in the semi-finals. The 24-year-old Pole is keen to avoid setting herself targets for the new season and says her main goal is to improve her game. "For now I'm not setting results goals," she told Polish sports news website Sportowy24 last month. "I am focusing on developing technically and in terms of my tennis game itself." Swiatek is renowned for her grit and intensity on tour but was forced to reevaluate her approach after failing to secure a semi-final spot at the season-ending WTA Finals for a 2nd straight year in November. She has spoken about the physical and mental toll the punishing tour schedule takes on players and said in Beijing in September that the season was too long and too intense. Just before Christmas, she told Sportowy24 that she felt refreshed after spending more time at home than usual. She has also worked with sports psychologist Daria Abramovich, often crediting with helping shape her preparation and routines and publicly defending their work together amid questions about the partnership. "I hope the preparation period will mean that in the new season I will play well, solidly, and that I will learn something new," said Swiatek, who suffered a heartbreaking semi-final loss to eventual champion Keys last year in Australia. There was heartbreak for Egypt's Mayar Sherif on Monday as she lost out in the qualifiers for the Australian Open to Guilmar Maristeny. Sherif, who in 2021 became the first Egyptian woman to win a match at a Grand Slam at that year's Australian Open, succumbed 4-6, 3-6 to her Spanish opponent. Beyond the trophy, Aryna Sabalenka and the Australian Open mindset. The Australian Open arrives each year like a white-hot sunrise, blinding, relentless, and honest. It asks players not only to perform but to reveal who they are when the air is heavy, the courts shimmer, and every rally carries the weight of expectation. For Aryna Sabalenka, Melbourne is not merely a destination on the calendar. It is a mirror. And in that mirror, she has learned to look past the glitter of trophies and focus instead on something quieter, harder, and far more enduring: improvement. The public narrative of tennis often rushes toward the finish line. Titles are tallied, rankings debated, legacies measured in silver. Sabalenka's game, all thunder and tempo, seems made for such narratives. Her serves crack like summer lightning, her ground strokes leave vapor trails. She is, by design, a headline. Yet the deeper story of her Australian Open journey is not about lifting a trophy at season's start. It is about learning how to carry her power with intention, how to temper ferocity with clarity, and how to make progress her most faithful companion. In Melbourne, improvement is not an abstract concept. It is measurable in sweat, patience, and the willingness to stay present when the crowd roars or falls silent. Sabalenka understands this. She has spoken often, not in slogans, but in actions, about trusting the process. Improvement means waking early for practice sessions when the sun is still unsure of itself. It means choosing one more disciplined shot over a spectacular risk. It means sitting with discomfort after a loss and refusing to let frustration become a habit. The Australian Open is uniquely suited to this philosophy. The tournament's heat strips tennis to its essentials. There is nowhere to hide when the temperature climbs and the rallies stretch. In these moments, Sabalenka's focus on improvement becomes a survival skill. She learns to breathe through chaos, to reset between points, to choose resilience over reaction. Each match becomes a classroom. Each opponent, a teacher. Improvement also demands humility, especially for a player whose weapons can overwhelm on any given day. Power alone can win matches, but it cannot guarantee growth. Sabalenka's evolution has been about adding layers to her game: touch at the net, variety in her serve, and, perhaps most crucially, emotional steadiness. At the Australian Open, where momentum can swing as fast as the weather, emotional balance is a form of technique. It is practiced, refined, and sometimes painfully earned. The beauty of focusing on improvement rather than the title is that it reframes pressure. The trophy becomes a possibility, not a demand. Sabalenka steps onto the court not to chase an outcome, but to test her progress. Did she move better today? Did she choose smarter patterns under stress? Did she respond to adversity with curiosity instead of fear? These questions, asked honestly, have a way of freeing the body. They allow the mind to play rather than perform.